Right then, this is a quick walk around video, and this is for a Nissan Qashqai 2-litre Tekna. As you can see here, it's a 2009 car. The car's covered 95,000 miles and has an absolutely wonderful service history attached to it. It's in very good condition, with just as you'd expect on any car that's 10 or 11 years old. The odd minor mark, but the bonnets and the lights are generally good. A few little touch-ins done over the years. You can see a couple on the near side bumper there, but at least they've been done. Near side front alloy in really good condition with hardly any markings on it at all. Coming down the passenger side, all very clean indeed. Apologise, the battery just suddenly gave me a message, but generally in good order. Just like you said, just the odd sort of minor mark here or there. Around the back of the car, again, all very good indeed. Few little light marks as you get in and out of the back of the car, but nothing to write home about. And then off side of the vehicle, driver's side, is very clean indeed. Final alloy, again, very good. Just a little bit of pickling on the alloy spokes, but again, for the age of mileage, very good indeed. So coming to the boot area, good sized boots, and it's been kept absolutely beautifully. So coming to the back of the car, and this is where generally family cars let themselves down, because this is where the kids are and they abuse them, quite rightly, as all kids should. But this one has been kept absolutely amazingly. The leatherwork looks, just as I said, it's incredibly good condition. Far better than most you'd see. Comes to the front now. Comes door card, all good and clean. And likewise, passenger seats in the front there. Again, in really good condition. Just a little bit of sort of entry marks as you get in and out, but the main bolsters, the main seats, all very good indeed. So finally, coming to the driver's door card, again in really good condition. Footwell area is very clean and tidy. The driver's seat itself is in absolutely amazing condition. Well, I should point out, obviously, being a Tekna, got this huge glass panoramic roof with electric blind. Electric blind all works exactly as it should, by the way. Inside the car now, engine's running for this section, so the dash can be seen illuminated. You can see there, sat-nav working exactly as it should, but it's been kept absolutely beautifully in here. Come up to the main dash binnacle. As you can see there, 95,935 miles, and there are no warning lights on the dashboard whilst the engine's running. But it's been kept very nicely, this car. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key, both here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Nissan Qashqai, and it's a 2-litre Tekna model. Car is registered HY09RWW, and mileage currently showing at 95,929 miles. The reason we do all of our videos is essentially so that if anyone's looking at our cars online in the advert, they actually get to see the car that's advertised in operation. The reason we feel it's important is very simple. It's because we know to our cost, unfortunately, just how frustrating it can be to go and see a car which can look perfectly good, only to get there and drive it to find out it's got a fundamental issue that shows up whilst driving the vehicle. So that's why we do it. It's also done on these very quiet, generally speaking, country roads, very close to our premises. This actually forms part of the road test route we take prospective buyers on, and the reason we do the videos on it is hopefully then it'll be representative of what you feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So as I hopefully will say in the walk around video, which will come after this when I get time, the car has come to us as a part exchange. We specialise in Honda and some Lexus cars, but obviously we generate part exchanges, and this is one of them. Been particularly well looked after, as you'll know from the advert. I think from memory it's a total of 12 services on the vehicle, and very recently done as well. And to be fair to the chap that owned it, he wouldn't mind me saying he was very particular, and I like that. I really do like that in anybody. whoever buys the car next will be benefiting from his love and care that he's put into this vehicle, because it has been loved. The car starts absolutely instantly, of course, and settles to an absolutely smooth, even idle. There's no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. The only light currently illuminated is low fuel, although it's not that low. But obviously a little bit of fuel in it will soon extinguish that. But apart from that, it's a warning light free. Temperature gauge running at just over 1/3, which is exactly what it's meant to be on one of these cars. The engine itself, really lovely engine actually, very gutsy, suits this car well. I've driven a couple of these smaller engine ones and they can feel a little bit slovenly at pulling away, especially in higher gears. You keep having to drop them down the gears, but this has got a lot more guts to it. You know, 4th gear uphill now, it's just picking up and going straight away. Very, very nice unit, and very, very quiet in operation as well, I have to say. Gearbox, 6-speed gearbox. All the gears select absolutely beautifully. I have to pick the day when the only time you ever see a oil tanker coming down here is the day I decided to do a video, but there we are, it's by the by. As I said, the gear change itself is nice and slick in operation. Feels really tight and taut. There's no sort of slack in the gear linkage at all, so all exactly as it should be. And the clutch likewise, lovely and smooth in operation. Bike point is exactly where it's meant to be, so all in fine order there as well. Steering of the car, very nicely done on the Qashqais, I have to say. I've always liked the Qashqais to drive. It tracks absolutely dead straight. There's absolutely no vibrations at this speed, or any speed up to the legal limit actually. But it's got a very nice weighting to it. Too many of these cars, and I don't know why, but they make them really overly light on the power steering, and it can make them feel, you know, they're fine around town, but all other times you just feel completely lifeless and unconnected to the road, or disconnected to the road I should say. But this has got very nice weighting and makes the car feel very secure on the road. But it feels, as I said, I can't detect zero wear through the steering, just feels really tight. Same goes for the suspension of the vehicle. No nasty noises when you hit bumps, because what I'm listening out for particularly is kind of like chatterings and knocking noises coming from underneath the vehicle, and there's nothing of the sort. The first thing you notice about the drive of these cars, they're very direct, they're very nice and positive to drive, but they've also got a very, very compliant ride. They've done a very nice job balancing the two, in my opinion. But as I said, it's the tightness of the car on the road that you're mostly aware of, I think, because it feels, as I said, very, very taut indeed. I'm going to get around the corner and give the brakes a bit of a shove, make sure no one's behind me, but I have a habit of doing them halfway around a bend, which is no good for anybody. But I know they're good. I'm just going to give me 2 seconds. A good old shove. Yeah, that's a really nice, powerful brake pedal on the car. What I'm looking for is good initial bite, but also no kind of pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal. And there's nothing at all. It's all exactly as it should be. Coming inside the car, Japanese build cars really rather well, don't they? Because there's no squeaks or rattles from the inside. It's all in really, really good condition in here, with hardly any sign of any wear in it at all. Air conditioning pumps out lovely cold air, heated seats work, you've got sat nav working perfectly there as well. I'm not going to pretend to have pressed every single last button on the car, but everything that I've attended to so far or looked at has worked exactly as it should. But I can say that comes as absolutely no surprise at all. But it's just a nice place to sit and operate a car, I have to say. You've got really good visibility out of the car. The dashboard is simple, it's easy to use. You know, a couple of days in the car and you're be familiar with everything, in all honesty. But very, very nice to use. Dashboard, or the binnacle in front, again, nice and simple. 2 big dials, exactly as it should be. Steering wheel with the grips there in the 10-to-2 position, fits like a glove, feels absolutely superb. As I said, the point of these videos is they're only brief, but they literally are just to show the car in operation, but to give honest feedback on what we're feeling as we're driving the car. But it feels as tight as a drum. It genuinely does. It really, really feels like a very well cared for car, which is exactly what it is. As always though, if you've got any questions about the vehicle, don't hesitate, do give us a call.